Here's another video with the horse that he's a little bitey and he overreacts. And if you're not real precise in your movements, you can get him on the fight pretty easy. He's actually kind of a tough one. If you go at him, he knows how to go at you. So we're trying to show him that we can move things around and he doesn't have to overreact. So when he gets triggered, I try to get him back to soft, quiet, and relaxed. I've got him for a few more days and I've got to get him better. The owner loves riding this horse, but he just learned to really, I think, be afraid on the ground. And when he gets afraid, he fights. So here's just another work with him. We're trying to get him quiet. We're trying to get him to respond, not react. We're trying to prove to him that he's amongst friends. Up to this point, it's been kind of difficult, but it's better than it was. He's not coming down the line at us, but I can't have him doing that because I want the owner to stay safe while she catches him, leads him to the tie rail, saddles him up. When she climbs up on his back, she feels perfectly safe and she likes the way he rides. So we got to do something, and all I know how to do is when he gets troubled, bring him back to quiet, then push on the threshold a little bit, and then bring him back and try to keep him from going over into the fight deal. This may not be a month worth of work. This might be a long time. But as long as she likes riding him and she doesn't get hurt and she knows some skills to bring him back to quiet, maybe this horse has a chance of having a quality life. That's my hopes. I hope for safety, horse and human, and I hope that there's improvement, at least a little improvement that the owner can get to stay safe so that the horse does have a quality life. It ain't gonna always be pretty, but if it's manageable and you can stay safe, my hope is that it will diminish. That's all. Just get better. So here we go. Hey, big boy. Sometimes the best we can do is get it better. I want to rub him. There. I'm going to put a little fly spray on his face. Now if we get too close to his face, that's what triggers him. So I'm about 4 feet away from him. And if we can teach him to do the things that we need him to do, when you capture this horse, like pull tight, that triggers him too. So we're practicing. We're letting him know that this rope ain't going to get tight and make him feel trapped. He's got 4 steel shoes on. He's good to shoe. He's good to ride. But if you trap him down here on the ground, he just gets on the fight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move him. I want him to step, and I'm purposely using the flag. The reason that I'm using the flag is because the owner isn't as good with the tools as she wants to be. And so I'm going to use this flag because it moves around. It causes more commotion. So if you don't handle this flag quite right, it's doing too much. I'm trying to emulate the lady doing too much so that this horse can accept too much signal and not overreact. I'm going to move this horse left jaw, right front foot. There. Legs. And I am using the pole. I just want this horse to walk around here quiet. Now I'm going to rub this horse. Now I'm going to turn it. I want it to turn, not stand there and do that. There, that's what I want it to do. Now I want it to go forward. When it faces you and throws its head up in the air, it's about 2 strides from running over you. And if you go to jerking on his head, it gets worse, and it gets worse fast. Now I'm going to rub him. Now I want to turn him again. Now I want him to just relax. And I'm going to walk with him. One of the coping skills that we've built in is we can lead together easily 3-4 feet away from me. Now I'm going to stop him again, and I'm going to pet him. Rub his jaw. Now I'm going to step back to my 3 or 4 foot circle and bend him across. You see him? The way he twists his head around, he's expecting me to hit him in the head. Now I'm going to walk with him on this side. I'm about 3-4 feet away. When he looks to the outside, instead of pulling on his head, I'll just put my leg on his belly just like I do the others. Now I'm going to rub him to a stop. I'm going to walk up here and pet him. Rub that jaw. Now I'm going to turn him again. I'm purposely staying away from his face unless I'm petting him. Well, that doesn't mean his face is off limits. It just means that that's one of his triggers, is attacking his face and his head. So I'm going to rub him to a stop and then come up here and pet his face. I just want this lady to stay safe so that she can enjoy riding him. I need him to turn. There. That was better. He didn't throw his head straight up in the air. In order for these two to work out their issue, they got to be able to coexist. Now I'm going to rub him to a stop, and I'm going to pet his face. Left and right means back up, and I just want the horse to back up, not overreact. I'm going to pet that face again. I'm going to pet the face. He hasn't shown any signs of biting or coming down the line because I'm not pulling on his head and holding it hard. I'm not walking backwards in front of him, pulling him into me. Now we're just going to lead. When he gets too close to me, I'll send him away from me. And then I'll go with him. If I stop, he didn't stop, so I'm going to back him up and pet his shoulder. Now we're going to go together. And I used my flag. I didn't just pull on him. If he starts crowding into me, I'll pick this up and I'll move his rib cage away, like that. Did you see his mouth that time? If we'd have been pulling on him, that would have triggered him. Now I'm going to stop. He didn't stop, so I'm going to back him up. Just a little bit to change his mind. Pet his jaw. We're going to go again. I'm going to send him, and I'm going to walk with him. Keeping him up here. I'm keeping him up here so I can see his face. Now I'm going to stop. I'm going to back him up. And I'm going to pet him. There's a big breath. I'll rub that jaw some more. In order to help a horse, you got to be able to coexist with that horse so you don't get hurt and so you don't just resort to violence. So he needs to back up when I do that, even when he's biting on that snap. And then I ought to be able to walk up here and pet him above the halter instead of just going to his mouth. And so, when you're working with these troubled horses, don't believe for an instant that you can fix them all. Sometimes you have to settle for, can I coexist with this horse so that eventually down the line I can help this horse? You have to figure out what triggers the horse. You have to work on ways to make that better. And then you have to just not give up. But primarily you have to stay safe and you have to be able to figure these horses out so you can give them what they need when they need it. And some of these problems that these horses have are just a hell of a lot bigger than what a lot of horses, you thump them and they quit forever. Some horses you thump them and they learned how to fight. He's crowding into me too close. There's zero tolerance here for this horse crowding into me. He can stay out there, and I can walk up and pet him. But he can't come into me, because he's already proven he'll try to put my arm in his mouth. I'm not afraid of him. I figured out a way to coexist with him so that I could help him learn to respond instead of react. And that ultimately is how you approach working with troubled horses anyway, except for some troubles are big, some troubles are little. But you still don't go to violence. You go to what triggers him? How can I make that better? I hope that helps. Like right there. It's probably a little anxiety if you want to know the truth. I'm going to shake that till he drops it, but he better be getting back. There, he dropped it. Leave him alone. Teach him another response. Years from now, well, he just tore that thing down. I needed to get it tore down anyway. Put my finger in his mouth, pull that out. If you're getting anything out of these videos, please, if you're watching them on YouTube, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, Equine Kindergarten, and hit like and share. If you're watching these on Facebook, I would really appreciate it if you would follow me on Facebook, Butch Mowdy, and hit like and share. None of that stuff costs a dime, but it makes the videos easier to find, and it really means a lot to me. And I sure appreciate your time. I hope that helps. Thank you. Bye.